Definitely just quiet but firm like that, those moments it goes a little against you. And, you know, what I'm seeing from them is like nothing outwardly wrong and glaring, you know? Little things where I'm just going awareness, you know, where it might not even be something you make an issue of, it's just more an awareness of, I'm not going to let this turn into anything. Like I said, with the little balance of his body, the height of the pole, the roundness, all of that, I don't look at him and think he's wrong or bad for the stage he's at. I just go, I do want to start to dialogue about that. One, just because they all need that dialogue anyway, it's part of the training. Two, because especially with those couple little things in his body, I just don't want to give him the chance to sit and kind of incorrectly absorb any pressure on his body. I want him to really know these certain little bits and pieces of pressure have to be absorbed very intricately in a sense, or precisely, maybe is a better word. The circle at this end, if he's good, let's keep it down. Reins just half an inch shorter. If he's better countering one side or the other, you can go whichever side you want. Good with the balance in the frame. And exactly when he goes a little against you, just quietly sit against him, bend a little, exactly. Same rules are going to apply now to the canter. Just keep sneaking up on the rein length, stretching tall in your body. Think of very mildly, just going, can I start to rotate his body? Could I start to encourage the pole to come up and the croup to go down? That also, in that sense, don't think of it per se as collection. Think, I'm just rotating the body. There you go. And I want to be thinking that those hind legs, I'm not going to shorten the stride. I have to actually do the opposite and scoop the hind legs further under. So if I can get the hind legs to kind of tuck further under, I get the croup to drop. If I get the croup to drop, the wither lifts up. The wither lifts up, the neck comes up, and vice versa. I'm going to kind of work both ends of that at the same time. Of the whip. You just want to see what he does when you tickle at him. Good, yeah. If like there where he just tucks under a little further with the hind leg, it's kind of the response that I was looking for. I would find if I'll let you like challenge a little bit and play with that moment of going, can I tuck that under a touch more? Good, there you go. Trot again when you're in. No lower with the pole, no leaning down at his heart. That's good in your body, not leaning back, not tipped forward, right in the middle, just vertically tall, legs are back underneath you, and you kind of sit in what I think of just a good neutral stance, where you're balanced and anchored on them, but not counterbalancing them forward or back. Good, reins just another half inch, keep thinking, be greedy with that, but politely greedy, you know, kind of going, if things feel good, I'm going to take a little more. I'm not going to take more when things are bad and be rude about it. I'm just going to keep kind of going, I want just that littlest bit more. And like I said, with the counter, what I'm looking to do, that's good, is just start to rotate them a little bit more onto the hind leg. Trot to walk when you're ready. And you're going to just stay sitting, hit the trot, quietly, right to walk, a little bend to the right, and then walk the counter once. Don't overthink it. If he hasn't done it before, just quietly approach it. Think positive. Follow through. Perfect. It's good, yeah. That's how dumbed down you want it to be, right? You go, this should be a no-brainer. And you know, all you're doing is blocking the trot from happening and just quietly putting the leg on in position for the canter. Where I want to start those walk canters fairly early, almost with any horse that'll let me do it, I want to start it kind of early so that they learn early on how to sit, how to come under with the hind leg, right? It's the first place in their training. Just walk. I think it's a good excuse for another walk canter. Same setup. This one might not go as good, but think follow through regardless. Bend right. And just once your 8 is on, go with it. Fine, good. It's the first place, like I said, where they learn to sit, because to get to canter, the hind leg actually reaches under, swings right, the right hind leg swings forward before there's momentum. Whereas if I start from the trot, there's momentum, so the forehand's already being sent forward. So they jump to canter, but it doesn't lower the croup, creating collection like the walk canter does. I want with him also that walk canter early, because again, just conformationally, I want to have that discussion of getting the hind legs under further and the croup lower in general as a dressage horse. But I also want it for him specific to go, this is a balance that you could find easily at this stage. That could be hard work later if we don't explore it now. We don't have to exploit it now, but it's worth exploring now. Good. Trot, when you're ready. Sometimes too, things like that you try with a horse at his stage, you try it, and it goes terribly. And I didn't think that was going to go bad, but it doesn't go great, and you kind of go, okay, that gives me homework. That's my goal over the next 3 months, is to get to that point where this is happening. And you just have to start somewhere. Sometimes you go like there. Your first one was pretty, like it looked like he was a really well-trained second-level horse that knew his job, right? Second one, and usually the case, the second one never goes as good as the first, because the first one they're not expecting and they just do it without thinking. The second one they're already starting to think. You can let them just stretch a little long and low there. Exactly. A little breather from that. But that's that walk canter transition. I start with my young ones as soon as I feel like mentally they can get it, they can digest it and take it. My 5-year-old, his age, the one I was saying, mine is not ready for those. Like her canter is not secure yet. My other one, her half sister, who's a year older, I was doing those walk canters on her within probably 3 or 4 weeks of her being under saddle. Like she was that calm and quiet, could just care less.